Radio for Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 707. That's an airplane. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
I am Warren in Vancouver, not an airplane.
And not an airplane, Chris in Edmonton.
Which are the ones that are having the problem? 737
Max.
737 Max, yes.
730, yeah. Sounds like...
Go back to the 707, which I don't even know if it's a real plane anymore.
I don't know, but I tell you what, there's a YouTube channel called World of Long Plays, which basically just has like long plays of video games, like every video game you know of, like, and they keep updating it like every couple days. And they recently did long plays for the Super Nintendo games Aerobiz and Aerobiz Supersonic, where you are...
Oh, sound terrible.
Yeah, well, no, it's great. It's kind of like SimCity except for airlines, and you have to run an airline, and you set up routes and stuff, and like compete against computers.
That still sounds terrible to me.
Oh no, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, 707, because you can pick the time period you start in, and so sometimes you...
So you know of this plane because of a video game.
I do actually. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm well versed in the Tupolev Soviet airplanes as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great game. Aerobiz, telling you, hook it up. I've been diving into some old ROMs on my little emulator on my computer as of late, and so I might.
Well, you're a criminal, and I hate you.
I don't know how to top that.
I don't actually hate you, and you're not really a criminal either, in my opinion.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know how to top that other than saying that Arachnids in the UK is our commentary this week with Kayti Burt. Kayti Burt's dropping by for her first ever appearance on Radio Free Skaro, talking about the old spiders in England episode of Doctor Who, episode 4.
Guest starring an American.
Yeah, Chris Noth, an actual proper and American. How about that? So that's coming along. What also would have featured on this episode of Radio Free Skaro would have been our report of Christopher Eccleston's first ever Canadian convention appearance, and indeed second only North American convention appearance. But alas, he had to cancel like 2 days before the actual event. Chris Eccleston had to pull out, but he sent a video. He said, at least he sent a video saying, "I'm really sorry because of family reasons. I can't make it. So I'll if I'm invited back. I like how he said if I'm ever invited back, if they want to invite me back, I'll come back and do so." That was nice of him, I thought. But yeah, so that put a pause. I didn't go to Edmonton Expo today. I'm going today, being Saturday. I am going on Sunday after this podcast comes out, because Erica and her two cohorts are doing a Wine on Earth panel at Edmonton Expo. But Chris, you went to Edmonton Expo today. What's your report from the event?
Yeah, I went there for a good few hours this morning, early this afternoon. It was a bit different. They had some differences in the way you like go in and out of the thing, and you have to like. You beep in and you beep out with this RFID badge and stuff
Really?
like that. And there's some
badge?
Yeah. So there's some changes. There isn't like 15 volunteers at every doorway checking badges and whatnot, because it's a lot more free and open now, which is a very good thing. It just felt different and weird, but in a good way. Yeah. Other than that, some Doctor Who representation with the cosplayers. So I saw only, I think, 2 Jodie Whittaker Doctor cosplayers, some Tennants and Smiths, and probably 50-something gentlemen in a Tom Baker scarf. And
wow. A 50-something gentleman, not 50-something gentleman.
Yes, a 50-something.
Okay.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be like one of those Filipino prisoner videos.
Hey, there's a booth though selling a fairly screen accurate a Fourth Doctor scarf for, I think it's $250 or something like that.
Really?
See, that's where you bargain. This is only fairly screen accurate.
Well, I was there with Kat, and Kat has knitted I don't know how many Doctor Who scarves over the years. Very many And I saw it before she did, and I pointed. Hey, I'm like, hey, that looks pretty close. She's like, yeah, I think that's pretty close. Because she would know. But yeah, on the whole, there's less space at the expo center used. It felt smaller. There were definitely fewer people there than seem to otherwise normally be on a Saturday. Fewer vendors and so like wider aisles and things like that to compensate for fewer vendors in some areas, and it felt a little empty.
Smaller, yeah, empty,
smaller, yeah. And I was gonna say it didn't help, at least from my perspective. It didn't help that the main person I would have liked to have seen canceled 2 days beforehand.
Yeah, true.
So did the Finnish fellow who plays Chewbacca. He had to bow out as well. So like, any convention that sort of loses two of their headline guests within days, they did offer refunds. I don't know how many people took them up on that for
I saw Wallace Shawn and Sean Astin at their autograph tables. Walked past them, and Marina Sirtis as well. Very, very nice looking lady. Marina
Star Trek,
Sirtis.
from Star Trek fame, Next Generation.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Star Trek Picard fame soon enough.
That's right. She's in that too. Yeah, I think they're all on that probably. Yeah.
Sean Astin had a massive lineup, but the biggest there weren't that many people.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, and also what's his name from the Goonies. There weren't that many of the main guests signing at the time when I walked by the autograph area, but the largest number of people in line were for the Green Ranger from Power Rangers. And
really?
Wow. That guy's got some staying power.
But you got to remember, there's a lot more millennials than there are us, and that is a big part of their childhood. So not ours. So.
Yes.
So it's a big deal.
But yeah, no, he had the biggest line of, I don't know, it was maybe 100 people or something like that. But
I went to a zine fair here, a much smaller affair, and like small press. But somebody had a sort of a bowl full of buttons, and they're all vintage. And there's a Pikachu one. I'm like, Pikachu is vintage now? Like, just how old am I?
Very, Warren, very old. I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was interesting. It was enjoyable. There are a lot of vendors selling Funko Pops, and I succumbed, and I bought, amongst other things, the 4 Office Space Funkos, because I adore that movie.
Office Space, yeah.
It is a fine film.
Yeah, it's I mean, for those that don't know, Edmonton Expo, this is very local, very Western Canadian. So obviously I have to say sorry for that. But Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon Expo were bought out by the people who run Toronto Fan Expo and like Vancouver Fan Expo, I guess, too, which was also owned by like an outfit from the States. And I think they are a little more cost conscious, shall we say, than the previous owners. Full disclosure, I knew the person who ran or helped run the former Edmonton Expo. This is why I got some pretty amazing main stage interview gigs with Jenna Coleman and the Torchwood cast and Alex Kingston and such. But I do miss the production values, I guess, of that era, just because they had like the main panels were sort of in like a bigger sort of like smaller hockey arena is what it was, basically, with a big stage, and they had like 2 big screens there, and they had like a swooping crane cam and stuff. Like the production values I thought were quite high, and I remember seeing like videos of like Toronto Fan Expo. I was like, they just look like they're on 2 bar stools against like a backdrop or something like that. Like, how big is this stage? And now Fan Expo basically has 2 people on bar stools next to a backdrop. So they have kind of like shrunk costs a little bit, and it's intriguing, Chris, that you say like even like the floor plan of this year's event. Like when I saw the map, I'm thinking looks a lot smaller. Like they used to take up like a good half, if not more, of the Edmonton Expo Center, and now it's like maybe a third of it.
There's the hockey rink area, and then there's 8 halls in the Expo Center. Halls A and B are the big ones, and the rest are much smaller by comparison. Hall A was lights out, doors shut, completely vacant, nothing going on in there. Hall B was registration, which was maybe a quarter occupied between the registration booths and people in line waiting to get their tickets and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then, C through H were just over there and not as full and stuff.
Oh, over there. Well, interesting. I suppose I will see it. Will have seen it by the time this comes out. So, but Saturday is often, I think, probably the busier day of the.
Usually is. It's the easiest day for
the
most
full
people
days.
to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's usually the one that has the bigger names and so on. Because there were a few guests, such as Eccleston, who were going to be Saturday only.
Yeah.
And last year, David Tennant was Saturday only. So
and then Matt Smith was Sunday.
Sunday
and they
only.
Never should the. I don't think they ever met because they're on different days. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, interesting. We'll see what other doctors they can pull out of theirs, having done Capaldi and Calgary Expo, and now 9, 10, and 11 over the past 2 years in Edmonton. So,
well, next up is John Hurt. Well, too late.
Too late, sadly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it's a little dark, man. Come on. If you want to see a Christopher Eccleston panel, he's going to be in New York Comic Con on the Thursday. But he was at Rose City Comic Con in Portland, Oregon this past week, and somebody bootlegged it, more or less, shot it on video, got the whole panel on video. It's an amazing watch. It is, and part of that might just be because, holy crap, it's Christopher Eccleston. He's talking candidly about Doctor Who and life in general. And I honestly, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I thought I will never see this. It's an amazing thing.
The keyword is candidly. Like he's
candid.
being
Yeah,
really
am I
open.
imagining this, or did he have bad things to say about RTD, or was it good things to say about? I can't remember one way or
He
the
said
other.
Good and bad.
He said he modeled
Okay.
his doctor after RTD.
Yeah. But
And
he also said like he
admired him.
disagrees with him a lot. Like he and I do not see eye to eye on a lot of things. So obviously something happened in between him wanting to be Doctor Who and how he left the show. He didn't really expand on what those are, but the whole panel is great. It links in the show notes at RadioFreeScott.com. Watch the whole thing. It's great. It's really superb. It's lovely seeing how I think fandom has sort of like helped feel him welcome, make him feel welcome. He went through some very trying times especially in the most recent years. In his new autobiography, which I bought. I have now on my Kindle. It came out this past week. I haven't read it yet, but he talks about his battles with anorexia, like while on Doctor Who. He was like in the hospital for 3 months with extreme depression while shooting the A Word. Just 2 or 3 years ago, he's gone through a lot of stuff. So the fact that he's actually out there doing panels and having fun and sort of being buoyed by fans is as good a sign for him as it is for us. I think the fact that he's actually happy to be out there. So yeah, give it a watch. It's a really good panel. So
Yeah.
Speaking of New York Comic Con, it very much, I think I hinted, hey, there could still be time. I think the ship has sailed, folks. I don't think there's going to be a Doctor Who panel at New York Comic Con, just like there wasn't one at San Diego Comic Con. So for the second time this calendar year, we've had to bump an anticipated episode talking about a Doctor Who news dump because no Doctor Who news dump is coming.
Oh,
Right?
We just have the dump part of things for the rest of today's news.
So since the BBC and the makers of Doctor Who aren't interested in talking about the production of their current show, damn it, we are going to do it for them.
Yep.
Take this for a grain of salt, but this is interesting. The good folks at Doctor Who Companion have sort of broken down not only a list of all the directors who are going to be directing all 10 episodes of Series 12, but they also report that Stephen Fry will be a guest star in the first episode of Series 12. Now, the fact that this thing came out on September 16th made me feel like, wait a second, I remember, didn't they already talk about this? That we didn't really mention on this podcast, I don't think, because we don't necessarily deal with rumors here. And sure enough, I looked back at the news, and around February, it says, oh yeah, Stephen Fry was sighted on set, on location, shooting for an episode of Doctor Who back in February. But this article here, dated September 16th, I don't know if it's like just sort of like a refresh of the same article from back then, but it says that he was previously seen shooting for the serial late last month. So does that mean August? And now, if that's the case, I'm wondering, are they having to do a massive amount of reshoots or something? Is this what's happening behind the scenes that is so chaotic with Doctor Who that they have to now bring back Stephen Fry to shoot more scenes for an episode he already shot 8 months ago?
Well, you had talked about seeing something about around San Diego Comic-Con that there was a 2-week gap in the production schedule, or New York Comic-Con, one of the two anyway.
It was San Diego.
Was San Diego? Okay.
Yep.
So they had the time built into the schedule for something to happen at Comic-Con, and nothing did. So I'm wondering if there are some reshoots, production problems, or something else going on, because they should be probably due to wrap sooner than later, I would expect, because usually they shoot for about anywhere up to 9 months, and they started early into 2019, so it should be done soon.
You'd think, maybe?
The answer is we don't know. We don't have a clue.
Maybe what happened is the BBC actually wiped Series 12.
Pamela Nash came back. And...
just to create another Doctor Who missing episode thing. And tell you what, remember all that buzz we got with Doctor Who missing episodes? Well, let's just erase our own. Let's just erase our own episodes. How about?
So this would create a real conundrum for Ian Levine, who hates Series 12, or Series 11 anyway, and yet is a missing episodes hero, at least in his own head. So how does he do this? Like, what does he do?
I know. Oh, do you save them? Oh, that's the choice. The choice.
But does he have the right?
Does he have they have the right? The article in the show notes also lists off as I mentioned, the directors for Series 10. 5 episodes are being directed by Jamie Stone, a director who actually directed The Last Day, which is one of the preludes to The Day of the Doctor, and also Clara and the TARDIS, which came out on the Series 7 box set. He's directing 5 episodes. Lee Haven-Jones is directing 2 more. Nita Manzoor is directing another couple, and then Emma Sullivan is directing a single episode. So that looks like it's going to be the list of directors. So none of whom have actually directed a full episode of Doctor Who before. But
just for what it's worth, that list was on that site anyway, originally posted in mid-June.
Yes, that was why I remember talking about Jamie Stone and Nita Manzoor.
Back
certainly,
in the day.
Maybe even Lee Haven-Jones. Yeah. So there you are. That's our Doctor Who Series 12 news. I mean, there's next to nothing in it in the new Doctor Who magazine, for instance. They're all about the past. It's like Doctor Who's a show that does not currently exist, but because
much of Doctor Who magazine's run was that. so it's quite good at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the official magazine of Doctor Who, but it's almost like, don't tell anyone though. Okay, we're making the new show, but don't let on that we're making a new show. It'll be a surprise. So, but there is a whole bunch of stuff. Include the one that shocked the internet was the Tom Baker in John Pertwee outfit, just the shirt. Basically, there's a couple photos of that in there. Nobody had ever seen these photos ever before. The earliest known.
That is surprising.
Yeah, like God, that's like super stupid.
So they've been sitting around for like almost 50 years, if not more.
Yeah.
Probably not more, but yeah.
Well, no, I guess not more.
Yeah, 40,
close.
45. Yeah.
Yes. They took pictures. Tell you what, we're going to cast John Pertwee, but let's just take a picture of this Tom Baker guy in an outfit that John Pertwee will wear in 5 years' time, just in the off chance that he's cast as Doctor Who. And that's what
reasonable.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of stuff about John Nathan Turner and the era, because it's sort of coinciding with the season 23 box set coming out. There's even an interview with Richard Hartley as well, who recreated his score for Mind Warp, which is still amazing to me. So
from memory, wasn't
it? Pretty much. Well,
I know we talked about it a while ago on the.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have to do it from memory. He could pick it up by ear from the music that he actually wrote. But
but I know there's some. I seem to remember there being some angle to it that made it more astounding than it otherwise would have been.
Yeah, I think somebody had like the original like synthesizer sounds or something like that. I think that's what it was. And so
I don't remember anymore.
Well,
no, I don't either.
Read the article, I guess, Doctor Who magazine.
I suppose I must.
Yeah, or read the article while you're waiting for a new Big Finish release of the War Master versus the Master, Derek Jacobi, and Mark Gatiss. Yes, Doctor Who's Mark Gatiss.
I forgot he was the Master in BF.
I didn't know, actually. When was he the Master in Big Finish?
He must be if he's the Master in this. I think he was.
I think he might have been. I don't remember.
On Alt Universe Master, apparently.
Like the Unbound
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's what he was. So that's right, he is. Yeah, he's an Unbound one. Anyway.
The cover is great. It's a Fenwank Spectacularo.
It quite is, actually. It's a 4-part series, 2 episodes by Nicholas Briggs and 2 by Alan Barnes. As I said, starring Sir Derek Jacobi and Mark Gatiss as the Masters, with Daleks and everything like that. Yeah, a whole bunch of crazy crap happens there. I'll tell you what. That's available for pre-order coming December from Big Finish, where we love stories. We don't. We're not.
They love
Big
stories.
Finish. That's
We actively hate and chase down stories.
That's just what they say. Yeah, exactly. Also for Big Finish, this is great. A Bernice Summerfield coloring book, Benny in Wonderland coloring book. Yeah, which is fun. 50 pages of patterns and stuff from arts that you can color in with whatever you like. Coloring books are very in right now, don't you know? And so now they have the Benny
specifically
Summerfield
adult coloring books. Yes.
Yes, like doing like intricate patterns and stuff. I was always quite poor at coloring books, so I never could stay on the line. So this would be a challenge for me. Anyway, forward by Paul Cornell, who of course created the character, and afterward by Lisa Bowerman, who of course played the character. So that is coming October of 2019 from Big Finish, who of course they love stories. Let's talk about some more Tat. How about before we get to the commentary? Andrew Skilleter Target Calendar Collection is coming in.
Skilleter is my jam.
Yeah.
I loved his stuff as a kid, and I still love it today.
I know you. Yeah, you're a Skilleter fan. I think I became an Alistair Pearson when he started doing him in the late '80s. Sort of, I associate Alistair Pearson with Sylvester McCoy era just because he started doing them mostly for Sylvester McCoy. Anyway, only 50 sets of this artwork will be available. So you can contact him. £40 basically. On Andrew Skilleter's website. So please contact him if you need to pay by bank transfer or check in the UK or only. But 50 of the Andrew Skilleter art collection calendar. Target calendar.
Pretty sure I saw him say on Facebook, on his Facebook page, that something like half or almost half were sold already or something. So
really, get on that. Get on it, folks. Only 50, which means there's only like 25 left.
One of the things I'm digging about this is for the sample images they show, there's a I guess alternate cover of Daleks Master Plan.
Really?
Written by John Peel, because when the Target books came out, it was released as 2 different books. There was Daleks Master Plan and Mutation of Time.
That's right.
And, so
I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, it's very confusing because there's no episode called The Mutation of Time. So like, what the hell? What do we do with this?
But there's an alternate Daleks Master Plan cover as part of this all, which looks kind of nice.
It's pretty cool, actually. For a book that doesn't actually exist, but the artwork does, and you can own it. Only 25 sets left, roughly. So get on it, folks. Links in the show notes, readyforskar.com. Let's talk about some... I'm going to say it. Some somewhat weird-looking action dollies.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you said it because I agree.
He's like hideous, hideous.
Don't beat around the bush, Chris. How do you feel?
So Character Options, of course, makes the official Doctor Who action dollies, right? Okay, that we all know and love.
Yes, they do.
And
these are not Character Options.
These are not. These are from a company called 720, which is distributes their own products in the USA with the characters license covering the UK. So like they're allowed to do it here in North America. They've come out with a Jodie Whittaker figure with a coat.
2 of them, really.
Yeah, I have to say I like the hair, I suppose.
I disagree. I'm just looking at my Jodie dolly, which looks way better. And there's a whole thing some people have a problem with, like her having her roots being black.
The roots
which
are very
I think
black,
is for real, although and people say it looks like a face hugger. I think her hair looks better, even if this is more accurate. The hair on the official dolly looks a lot better.
Okay,
and that's just my opinion.
All right, yeah, okay, I can see. I mean, the one with the coat is, let's say this, it looks not the worst. to be charitable. Now,
It kind of looks like that painting that woman improved.
yeah, there is a coatless one now. There's a coatless Jodie with no coat on, obviously, hence the name. That one looks less good, I will say. It looks like she's kind of a Gumby doll, where like her...
Yeah, she kind of looks like a killer mannequin.
Or she's got like a hell of a corset on or something like the
Clockwork Jodie, if you will. Or she's got really big pipes, which maybe she does.
No, she doesn't have big pipes. She has thin, normal-sized pipes, I suppose, arms, for those of you who are listening at home. But they sort of like arc out as if she's flexing, but not really. It's very strange. It's a very strange action figure. But they're available now, I guess, if you want them. If you want to get non-character options, Doctor Who 13th Doctor action dollies, well, look at this. You can have at them now.
You can if you wish. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going for this, are you, Warren?
No, I don't need extras of... The only time I get extras of dollies is if there's like some weird variant like Matt Smith in a cowboy hat, that kind of nonsense. Only if there's comedic potential will I get one.
So one of the chief rules of the internet is on any given thing, never read the comments. So I'm just skimming the comments on
exactly
on one of these links in the show
rules,
notes. One person says it looks as if Daypole had a one night stand with a Happy Meal toy and then beat it with an ugly stick.
Wow,
that's both tactless and accurate.
Taculent. So there. We've reported it for you. You can get those if you want. I look forward to you haven't. You've got yourself a Harry Sullivan, Warren, from.
It's on its way. Yes,
it's on its. Oh, it's okay. It's coming. Okay, that's the one that you sprung for. But I'm still looking forward to the TARDIS Time Team, the current fam.
Yes, as am I.
Yeah, because they haven't actually been officially announced, but we did see that teaser photo from what I think VorpCon a few months ago or something like that. But yeah, so. Yes, rather interesting. Rather interesting indeed. Hey, you know what? This is exciting times, folks, because the Lego Advent calendars are now in shops with the City and the Lego Star Wars and a new one this time around, Harry Potter. And if the Advent calendars are in shops, it means that Christmas is around the corner, which means it's time for some Christmas merchandise coming your way.
Which looks better than these action figures, honestly.
Christmas ornaments. Yes, there's a Jodie Whittaker Christmas 13th Doctor ornament coming, which is it looks like it's based on like her costume unveiling, that sort of press photo. It looks not bad actually for Christmas.
Right. Her hair's kind of anime, but other than that,
I was going to say windswept for the hair.
It is windswept. Yeah. That's available for purchase. Also, there's a TARDIS ornament, which is pretty cool. It's nice. It's tough to mess up a TARDIS, really, when you think about it. It's a lot of
unless you paint it pink,
a lot of angles,
and give the console 5 sides.
That too. Yeah, the console's the tricky bit. There's a somewhat weird looking Fourth Doctor one ornament as well.
Yeah, but he's weird looking, so that doesn't bother me with this one. Although,
true.
Yeah, this sweater is weird, I have to say.
Yeah.
He has a bumblebee sweater for some reason.
It does kind of, yeah. So that's available also for your Christmas tree. This is kind of fun. The Doctor Who colored Dalek ornament set, and the fun thing is that it's the new Paradigm Daleks who are always colorful, so they live on now in Christmas decorations.
And there's only 4.
They always kind of should have been decorations.
I agree.
And there's only 4. It doesn't have the orange one.
That's right. There is only 4. 4. It's 5.
That's just fine.
5's tough to package. That's the thing, really.
Yeah, but it's the thing. They came up with 5 colors for it.
I know. Well,
a Christmas ornament is not following proper continuity. This is a crisis.
Yeah.
It violates canon in every conceivable way.
It really does. Well, maybe the orange one. Maybe the 5th face of delusion is the wearer zone, and maybe the 5th Dalek is the wearer zone. Perhaps, I don't know.
Wow, this is some mental gymnastics you're undergoing here.
Kind of is. And the last one is a Doctor Who Weeping Angel tree topper. That's actually a pretty good idea. Instead of the angel on the top of the tree, the Weeping Angel. See what I mean?
Yeah.
See what happens there?
I get it.
You get it. Anyway, links in the show notes if you want to have a look at these. For your own Christmas wishes. Tell you what, one last thing. I almost forgot about this, but we mentioned this last week that the Quiz of Rassilon did had their little pub night with the quiz, and they asked us, "Hey, do you want to like submit a round of questions and stuff?" And so thought, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe we'll try and like do them around like Canada or some weird fun topic and stuff. And they said, "Tell you what, how about you do questions on a Peter Davison episode?" And so naturally, my mind went to the Caves of Androzani, and they needed them quick, and so I rattled off 10 questions for them and sent them along, and apparently they went down very well. Right now, then, Warren and Chris, since I wrote these,
I saw when you provided the questions and answers to them, but I'm not going to pretend I remember what they.
Okay, well then we're gonna have.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to fail this.
We're gonna have fun. Here we go. The 10 questions on the Caves of Androzani. For the Quiz of Rassilon. Here we go. This is how they went down. Question 1. Easy, not easy. What was the production code for the Caves of Androzani?
I have no idea. Nor do I care.
6L. No.
6R. 6L was Words the Deep.
Okay. I knew it would be 6 something.
What actor who appeared in the Caves of Androzani also appeared on a show in the Star Trek universe?
Patrick McNee. I have no clue again.
In the Star Trek universe?
Yeah, Star Trek universe. Yeah.
Before
So
or
any
after?
any of the Star Trek shows, any of them.
Man.
Any of them. Yeah. Cage of Androzani.
John Normington is the first name that comes to mind, so I know it's not going to be right.
Nope, it was Maurice Reeves who played Stotts in Androzani, and he was in a Next Generation episode called The Chase. He played a Romulan, in case you're wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've seen The Chase a bunch of times. I've never sussed that out. Okay.
Number 3, which actor who appeared in the Caves of Androzani has a brother who has also appeared in Doctor Who?
Oh, it's probably Glenister, right?
Robert Glenister? No, because Phil Glenister hasn't been in Doctor Who.
Has been in Doctor Who? No.
Well, he should be.
I don't know.
No. Martin Cochrane, who played Chelek. His brother Michael Cochrane appeared in both Black Orchid and Ghostlight as Redford Van Cooper. Yeah, brothers.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. What actor who appeared in the Caves of... These aren't all going to be actor questions. What actor who appeared in the Caves of Androzani also appeared in another 1980s BBC sci-fi series in an episode also directed by Graham Harper?
I'm going to go back to John Normington.
Sure, Normington.
Normington knows Roy Holder, who played Krelper. He appeared in Star Cops, Little Green Men, and Other Martians in 1987.
Well, then, this is going down quite the rabbit hole.
That's right. This is how they work. This is pub quiz. That's what they do. Question number 5. What is the last thing the Fifth Doctor says?
Adric?
There you go. Adric. Yep, got it. I had to phrase it that way because otherwise, if I said what is the Fifth Doctor's last words, it isn't. It's one word. Number 6. How old was the president of Androzani Major at the time of his death?
Oh,
No,
geez, 125. I can't remember.
No, it's 84. Would you believe I was 84? 50 at the most, says.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Number 7. What does Krelper vow he never picks? Yeah. Yeah.
What does Krelper vow he never picks?
Yeah, he never picks.
Cowards. I can't remember.
Teammates. I don't know.
Chuckles. You know what? I don't pick chuckles. You know why? Because I'm smart. You smart.
What the hell is? What is that? What are they?
I don't know. We never know. That's a Robert Holmes line. We never know what chuckles are. Question 8. The Doctor is allergic to certain gases in what range of the spectrum? Praxis range. There you go.
Oh, yes. The key energy facility for the Klingons,
yeah,
by the way.
Also based on Eric Sayward's brand of typewriter. Number 9. Who wrote the incidental music for the Caves of Androzani?
It's good, as I recall, but I don't remember who it is.
No. Chris, any guesses?
It's very haunting. It's got that...
Well, you know me in music at the best of times.
I know.
I'm S out of luck here, too.
You're not going to go out on a limb and guess for that?
Roger Limb.
There it is, Roger Limb. And the 10th one, what is notable about the female characters of the cast of the Caves of Androzani?
That there's only one that was out of Perry?
I think that's correct. Yeah, actually.
Well, what is
Yeah.
notable about them, though? What is notable about them?
They live.
They live. There you go. They're the only ones
Oh,
who survive.
okay.
Because even the Doctor dies in this all-male bloodbath.
That's a good point.
There you are. 10 questions. Those are the 10 questions I came up with on the Caves of Vangerzani.
Well, good thing we ran at that quiz because we'd have sunk our team.
That would have sucked. That would have sucked, actually. Yeah, but
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed listening to those at home, and I hope you enjoyed those who attended the Quiz of Rassilon in wherever it was taking place in England last weekend. So
Seabright Arms in London.
that's it. That's it for the news list. After the very short break, it's time for our commentary series for Series 11 to continue with Arachnids in the UK with guest Kayti Burt. Welcome back. It's time for our fourth commentary episode, Arachnids in the UK. And with us this time, first time ever on Radio Free Skaro,
Yay!
staff editor at Den of Geek, Kayti Burt. Hello, Katie.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me. I love your podcast, so this is a real honor.
Oh, that's awfully nice of you to say. We're honored to have you on the show, being at Den of Geek. How long have you been at Den of Geek? Because you've been in there for...
That is a good question.
I should have asked.
Well,
I should have lied you to prep before that. But.
No, I mean, this is a question I've had before. It's been at least a few years. I was working as a freelancer probably like 4 or 5 years ago for them, but I've been working full time for 2 or 3 years, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a bit.
Yeah, and you've interviewed several Doctor Who stars. I know you've interviewed other people. We're not interested in the other franchise.
Doesn't matter.
You do.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to ask Jodie a few questions last year, which was so cool.
Oh, in the little private press conference at Comic-Con or elsewhere?
Oh, yeah. At Comic-Con. So New York Comic-Con.
Ah, New York Comic-Con, right.
Yeah, and I've talked to Peter Davison. I think that's... Oh, wait. Well, I've talked to Stephen Moffat, and I've talked to a lot of behind-the-scenes people as well. It's bad that I can't remember.
That's our deal, so that's good.
It's not bad. There's just so many of them. And of course...
many interviews.
Exactly, and as a connection to my wife Erica's podcast, Erp Chirp, the Winona Earp podcast.
Another great podcast.
Excellent. I'm glad you enjoy that. I press record on it and then sit back. You moderated that for the past 2 years, I want to say, at the San Diego Comic-Con. You moderated the Winona Earp panel.
Correct. Yeah, that was I just did it a few weeks ago. And it was such a fun time because they were, I guess, re-renewed right before Comic-Con this year. So they actually announced it. I announced it last year at Comic-Con that they were getting a 4th season, and then we kind of got to celebrate it again. So it felt like we were frozen in time, but I love that show, and it was such a great moment to be a part of.
I watched that the reveal of the renewal from last year, not this past year, but the year before. Like everyone just running around the room, and it was like, what a moment to be a part of. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was very
neat.
cool.
Almost as cool as watching Chris Noth and Doctor Who, the Arachnids in the UK.
Neck
That is
and
quite
neck.
the segue you did there.
Well.
Never said it was a good segue, just quite the segue.
That was quite the segue. You chose this one. Did you choose this one, or we choose this for you?
I was trying to remember. I don't think it was my first choice, but it was definitely on the list.
Okay, well that's good. So you're not overly offended by it then, at the very least.
No, no.
Perfect.
It's a fun episode.
It is fun. It is fun. And we'll get to it right now. So I hope everyone has their legally purchased North American Blu-rays because it's it. That's the only one that's going to sync up with this. Maybe even the iTunes one doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We never stay on topic in these things anyway. So you've got it before you. Excellent. Here we go. Arachnids in the UK in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, that was a lot of pressure.
That was 2. I always freak out that it's going to not play on my end, and I just go, geez, did it do it? And it didn't actually. It didn't play. So
or you hit the wrong button and you're 3 seconds behind. I was like, I'm never going to catch up now.
Yep.
And then you do the thing where you hop ahead, hoping you get it right and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The stakes are very high.
Very. What do you think of the opening titles of this new series, Katie?
I really like them. I loved the like last Peter Capaldi titles. But I mean, like with everything, with all these new people behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, it's nice to have something that feels really different and like kind of organic. I don't know. Yeah, so I like it.
It's like the background of a Grateful Dead concert. I don't know why I thought that. Those little oils and water on projection screens and stuff.
These are like the shining shots.
Yeah.
These are that one's particularly shiny.
Yeah.
So
due to the
low.
carpet.
I assume these are supposed to be. I haven't seen this since.
Oh my god, is that the Gallifrey carpet? It sure as hell looks like it.
Yeah, California. Yeah, some shots
That would be the best Easter egg.
Oh, can you imagine if somebody actually picked up the carpet and like put it in a Doctor Who episode that was filmed in a hotel?
Possible.
One day.
Okay. Well, aren't they auctioning off like parts of the carpet? So somebody could buy it, frame it, and put it in the background of something.
That's true.
It's
In
been
the TARDIS
prophesized.
itself, perhaps. Yeah. No, I watched this one just a couple hours before recording here, actually, just to refresh my memory. I don't know about because you didn't actually do the episode reviews on Den of Geek, did you, Katie?
I didn't. I know. I was rewatching this episode and thinking about how I should do that for the next season.
Right. Okay. I was just wondering, like, if the change of date from Saturday to Sunday was any like a great, like, did that thwart anything in your plans as much as it did ours? No. Okay.
No. I feel like that's the wonderful and terrible thing about Peak TV. There's just every day. But because we have a UK side of our site, they do a lot of the stuff that is, UK first. So they have dibs on this. Although, and I'm trying not to volunteer for things for extra work.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's hard though. I think I would volunteer for this next season. It's official. I've said it on the podcast.
It's done now. Well, I only asked because I remember let's see what Katie said about Doctor Who on Den of Geek, and okay, there's 83 pages. Okay, well, let's just keep scrolling. Okay, so I get through the bottom of page 1, and we're like, okay, that's 2 days worth of articles.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
Okay, so that was the introduction of Kevin, though, which I think is an important moment.
Kevin, first we have to talk about this, which is awesome. I love the show.
Yeah,
that is pretty damn cool. That's a cool looking vortex.
Yeah, vortex.
The best time circuits ever.
Yeah, gorgeous. Look at this. That's right, the TARDIS. Why is Kevin so important to you, Katie? Or are you being facetious?
He was unexpectedly. I grew attached to Kevin in a short time.
Wow!
So, there's a lot of there's a lot of random characters in this episode who don't necessarily get a lot of personality, but for some reason Kevin transcended that. I think it's Chris Noth's performance.
Mm-hmm.
He mentions 2020, and I was going, he's a jerk, but I don't know, not as much of a jerk.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's going to primary him. I'm just sensing that Jack Robertson is not on the Democratic ticket next year.
I'm getting that feeling as well.
Yeah. I was glad that I watched this. The reason I brought up was it was a Sunday is more difficult for you, Katie, than Saturdays. It was for us, and this one and particularly Kerblam were the toughest one. I watched this episode for the first and only time until a couple hours ago. While I was at a hockey rink waiting for my shift at the hockey game to begin.
Yes, I remember this.
I was watching on my phone somewhere in the upper loge seats of the rink here in Edmonton. Tried to find a quiet spot to watch a Doctor Who episode before work, and then knowing that I would get home for the game and immediately record it. So I was really glad to revisit this one. It's tough being a Doctor Who podcaster.
Yasmin was like, I didn't have any messages on my phone. I finally have a signal. That was me when I came out of the lockup at the budget in Ottawa. I'm like, because they take your phone away and you can't have it for 8 hours because you're reporting on stuff before anybody else sees it. Then you get out and you pull out your phone and you're like, I don't have any messages at all. Well, go to hell, outside world. It was nice not knowing you.
Well, in this case, it was only half an hour, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Plus,
that was 8 hours.
I still get a little misty at the whole goodbye thing that never happens.
I know,
because it's like they've shared an experience, and
Yeah, the end part of this episode. This is actually quite nice too, actually. We'll be saying this a lot, and have said this a lot, depending on what episodes you hear in what order, folks, because we're recording some of these commentaries out of order. But Bradley Walsh is the revelation for me. I didn't know who he was going into this whole series.
He's great.
I think he's just great, yeah.
He does an amazing job. I think it seems like Chris Chibnall, I don't know, I think he's good at writing him as well. It's a combination.
Mm-hmm. There's just a subtlety to his performance that I quite like. Hey, we're back.
I was going to say, it's got to be weird to come home after, they're probably been gone months, and then just wander into your place again. We've all done that, where you're on an extended trip, and you get back home, and you're like, this is odd. But for them, like, they've been all over the universe, and then they do that. Just imagine how weird that is.
Yeah, and for no one else to acknowledge it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
it's only been half an hour. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Like, I got back from a trip from the Midwest in July, and there's like 2 flyers in the mailbox.
I had the opposite problem after I was in Toronto for a month. I was like, this is way too much mail.
Oh, the doctor talking about being domestic.
I want that. And I want her to get a purple sofa.
Yeah.
And she has
Put it in
no
the
idea.
TARDIS. It'd be great.
She has no idea what domestic means. It's awesome.
Yeah. I had to do small talk. Yeah.
Don't worry, the social awkward part doesn't go away.
Yeah.
I may be projecting just a little bit.
It's so hard to do commentary because you just want to watch the episode. I'm sure you talk about this all the time.
Also, I love his apron.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. I do wish we learned a bit more about Yaz's family. I mean, they're here and we learn a bit, but I don't know. We get a really nice moment with Graham and Ryan later, and I wish we had gotten one of those with Yaz and one of her family members.
Yeah.
We get it with her grandma in Demons of the Punjab, I guess, but
yeah.
It also makes it a lot easier when Ryan and Graham are each other's only family and they're together.
True.
So you kind of have to get that stuff. But as far as family stuff goes, I look forward to the scene when Yaz's mom thinks she and the doctor are an item.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so good.
Now, had the shipping begun by that point, or did I kick it off, or a little from column A?
I'm sure it had started by this point.
Yeah, I think it had.
Yeah, what episode is this? 6? 4? Something like that?
4.
Where are we?
Oh, yeah.
When are we?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I'd probably started right at the top. I mean, it's Doctor Who fandom. What the hell?
Yeah.
I
don't know. It's weird because RTD did the whole family thing from the get-go. And then episode 4 of series 1, when Rose goes back home for the first time, granted it's been after a year, there's the whole thing about her and the doctor being a thing, or are supposed to be, the people think they're a thing, and the same thing happens here, and for whatever reason I like it more here than I did back then.
Mm-hmm. And with Moffat, it was always more doctor-centric, even though he had family stuff. It was all revolving around him anyway.
This does feel like very much like an RTD episode in general.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, true. Domestic monster and this stuff.
Yeah.
Sort of, it follows
and an over-the-top villain.
Yeah, it follows... While you make your terrible Pecora. I love that line.
That's such a good shot.
Just
There's
clueless.
no such thing as terrible Pecora.
Sheffield has never looked more beautiful than Doctor Who. I feel like I want to go now.
I know, right?
Okay.
I could be a tall.
You're in for a disappointment, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff to see and do in Sheffield. I just don't know what.
Well,
spider hunting.
Well, they have. There's a hockey team there, the Sheffield Steelers.
There's
I knew that'd be number one.
As a steel town, I'm sure there's steel mills you could look at.
Probably. Go location hunting for both. I love that they keep Grace out of focus for this, and then she's like increasingly more in focus with each appearance in this episode. Till the very end, we see her just a little bit. Sally Aprahamian.
I like how silent it is too.
Directed that, yeah. Well, because you have your volume turned down, but.
Well, is there any music? I can't tell.
Well, because you have your volume turned down, but.
Yes, I know that. You could answer the question instead of saying that.
I don't know, because I have my volume turned down too.
Well, there isn't. I just turned it up. So
Okay.
there you go.
Well, scene's over now. She's a spider researcher.
Spider expert. Spider facts woman.
There's probably an actual name for that.
Spiderologist? Anachronologist.
Pretty sure it's not spiderologist.
Oh.
Spider.
Now, does this shot happen with Christopher Eccleston in Rose?
It does.
Like a similar.
Yeah.
Is that because I remember there's the letterbox thing in Empty Child. Or Dr.
Oh no, there was
Death,
certainly
whichever.
in Rose where the next day he pops by because he picks up the signal of the Auton arm in Rose's flat,
Oh, okay.
and then he
And it's
you
through
can
the letterbox. Okay.
Yep, the letterbox. So
You are
obviously
correct,
this
by
is,
the way. It is arachnologist.
it is arachnologist.
Warren's back.
Yeah.
Well, this is important info.
It is important info.
I did notice they had like a specialist on this episode.
Oh, like in the credits,
So,
like to
yeah, I wrote down her name. Let me find it.
Katie, you've
If
done
she's like most
research.
specialists, they probably completely ignored her when she said that.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, Dr. Niall Doran, which is very similar to a member of One Direction in name. Internationally renowned zoologist and conservationist.
And pop star Niall.
Yeah.
Doran.
And pop star. And Doctor Who consultant.
Maybe
Just like Going Direction.
Yeah.
maybe they guessed it on the 50th anniversary live special.
I was gonna say,
They
was
did.
that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, I can never forget about that.
What do you guys think of the looks of these spider webs?
They
They look
I
like
wasn't trying to
spider
ask
webs.
a leading question.
Okay.
I tried to keep my voice very even.
All right.
They
Well,
look pretty dollar store, frankly.
I know they do. It's so endearing.
But they're big. I mean, the spiders are big. So should they be goopier? Like maybe I'm sort of like I'm thinking of the spider webs in Shelob's Lair and Return of the King.
Yeah, they had a whole lot more money to play with.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
It's just funny, particularly funny to me in the moment where Robertson points out to, oh no. Oh,
That's still creepy,
Good
even if it does
reaction
look cheap.
shot.
Yeah.
To Yaz's mom that the cobwebs are all over the place. Like, he's not like, you put Halloween store cobwebs everywhere. Why did you do this?
They're helping to sell the fiction, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
I just hate to be the PA or whoever has to clean all this crap up.
Yeah. Always, pretty much.
Well, it's all in studio at least at this point. That's the
Yeah,
difference
it's still
between
a
this and
bad
Rose.
job.
Yeah.
I think this is the scariest spider part.
I'm trying to remember if Anna wakes up or not, and I can't remember.
Yeah. No. Spoiler alert. She does not. She's dead.
Okay, because that
Aren't
would
there like
Sorry.
real
That
Sorry
spiders
to
that are
tell
that
you.
big?
Yeah.
Like camel spiders in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've seen pictures soldiers take of these, and they're about this big.
Actually, I don't think this is about the size of like a French poodle. I don't know if that's...
No, like that's for real. Like that's a thing.
I think that's a small spider in Australia.
Yeah.
I do wonder in episodes like this how much being afraid of spiders influences your experience. Because I'm not particularly afraid of spiders, and I do enjoy this episode, but I wonder how it would be different if I were.
I seem to recall before when it was announced, a couple people I knew were saying, "Oh, I can't watch that."
Oh yeah, I heard of lots of people who said they won't watch it because of the spiders.
Okay,
But, like
Warren,
speaking
the
of
camel...
Afghanistan, I've got a friend who wasn't there, and she was telling me about how the camel spiders don't bother you because they're so big. It's the tiny ones that freak her out for some reason.
I've seen many a shot here on the internet, and the camel spider is about the size of someone's palm, Warren. So no, they're not the
Well,
size
maybe
of
I'm
a
thinking of
French
another one
poodle.
because I've seen other ones like they have soldiers holding them. And they're big, big, big.
Okay,
dudes.
well, also...
You're no Dr. Niall Doran.
Yeah.
No, I'm certainly not. I've seen pictures on the internet. That should be enough in this day and age.
That's the creepy. I don't like when they slide down like that. That's scary. I don't like that. What is it with spiders? Why do spiders freak us out so much?
Because they're
Is it
gross.
all the eyes, all the legs,
I don't even see the eyes. I see the
segmented
legs.
body?
Yeah, I think it's legs for me. Anything that moves in a non-human-like manner.
Yeah.
And because it's 2 legs more than most insects.
I've often wondered how, like, if like I stepped on a mouse or something, I would feel really guilty about it. But stepping on a fly, I don't think anything of it. And I think that's human evolution, where it's like, well, these are the things most likely to kill you. So don't have any qualms about murdering them.
Jade McIntyre. That's a name. That's an alter ego.
Yeah, Spider Lady.
What are you hiding?
Gwen Morales. We're on to you.
Gwen Morales. That's in Spider-Man, isn't it?
I'm not even going to bother with you.
I don't even know. I never, as of
Yes,
recording,
kind of,
I still
sorta.
haven't seen.
I'm mixing things together.
Okay, I haven't seen that Spider-Man film. So
That's for your 6th podcast, Warren,
Oh, no.
about spider people.
I can't possibly measure up to Chip's fanboyism of Spider-Verse. I like it just fine. But
they waited for that train there to go past to shoot that shot.
So this is actually Sheffield.
Yes, it's got to be. You can't mistake that bridge. I don't think there's a rail bridge in
the
Cardiff.
building looks kind of unique, too, actually.
Yeah, the building would definitely be distinct.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they went to Sheffield for 2 episodes in, at least.
I like the sunset stuff in the back.
Their relationship really is for me at least, like the best through line for the entire season. They do such a good job with it.
It's also the one you'd think would be the least interesting because of the age gap and the fact that, you know, they're forced together by a third person through marriage, whereas like Ryan and Yaz would be the more natural thing because they're about the same age. They went to school together.
Yeah. I do wish we got a little bit more of Ryan's, like, you know, returning to the city for the first time after his grandmother died. Like, how is he feeling about that?
Yeah, he just, like, where does he live, actually, Ryan?
I know. I thought he lived with them, but then I wasn't sure.
Yeah, the fact that Bradley Walsh Graham, blanking his name there. Like, it's like, no, don't come home, son. No, stay. Don't go to your home. I'm going to our home. You stay away.
Like, this is my scene.
Yeah.
Another question I have is, so her mom loses her job. Like, I want to know what that means for her and for their family.
Yeah. And like, what kind of is she just sort of bouncing from odd job to odd job? Like, how long?
Yeah,
has she
and like,
been
does the
working at
dad
this?
work? Because it seems like maybe he doesn't, but maybe I don't know.
The sister's younger, so she probably doesn't, or doesn't make much if she does.
Well,
and the grandmother lives there.
She probably should have enough of a job to be, you know, she was mocked earlier by Yaz for not having one. So anyway, here's Chris Noth again from TV's Sex and the City mostly. And this was the
Law and Order's Chris Noth?
Law and Order Chris Noth.
Sex and the City's Chris Noth, please.
That's what I said before, yeah.
Back in the 90s, there was a weird cult in town, and his mom was part of it, so he would come to Edmonton quite a bit to visit her.
Wow. Okay, that's a backstory we got to explore. What? A cult that his mom...
Well, it wasn't a cult. You could leave at any time, but it was culty.
Like a light cult?
Kinda, yeah. I remember they had a documentary about it on CBC, and at one point, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. He's like, he has to leave his wife because he has to hook up with 2 younger gymnasts. I'm like, how does this cliche keep playing itself out in real life? Wow. Come on, okay. But anyway, Chris Noth's mom was part of this cult, not in that way, just as a devotee. And so Chris Noth would come to Edmonton fairly regularly for that reason.
Wow. I had no idea.
So I was told. I never actually saw the guy wander around or anything.
To perhaps try and convince his mom not to be in this cult, or
possibly, one would hope.
No. Amelia Earhart. I'm shipping Doctor Who and Amelia Earhart now. After that, little drop.
That would be such a good episode.
Yeah. I'm shipping the Doctor and Glasses Lady myself, but that's just me.
It's part of there's a book, isn't there, that's come out or will be coming out that has the Doctor basically all the name drops that she did during this series.
The one
turning into
the
short
one
stories.
the 6 short stories or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good.
I'm kind of surprised nobody's thought of doing that name drop book before. Because it's been happening for God knows how long. I mean,
So they're researching spiders like for the tensile strength of spider webs or something. Is that what it was?
I feel like this is the scene that they were like, we hired someone who told us about spiders. We need to talk about spiders. Like, there's so many spider facts.
Yeah, this is the spider dump episode here.
Ugh, gross.
They're like, Doctor Who began as an educational show, and we will bring it back.
Yeah. We're going to teach
Whether you
you
like it or
about
not,
Rosa
you probably
Parks
won't.
and then spiders. In that order.
Oh my god, this is the best part of the episode.
I know, right in the background.
What is he doing in the background? What the hell?
He's doing
Oh
shadow
my god.
puppets.
I feel like you learned so much about this
Shadow
character in this
puppets.
moment.
Yeah.
That's pretty great, actually.
Doctor Who Star Tales is the
Star
book,
Tales.
which comes out in early December.
There it is.
I can't see this without seeing that GIF that everybody puts up with the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia being crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, crazy wall. That was a very Sherlock shot going through the
It
crazy
was.
wall.
It was.
I wonder if that bit of business with the shadow puppets was that Toes and Cole going. Maybe I should do some shadow puppets in here. I'm not doing anything else.
I would
That's
love
like
to know.
6
that.
hours into the shoot or something. He's
Yeah,
like,
because
Yeah.
I love that they don't focus on it. Never do we see a cutaway shot of what he's doing. He's just doing it in the background, out of focus, and it's just like, what
Yeah.
is he doing back there? It's hilarious.
I wonder if they even noticed until the edit, and they're like, "Well, all right, fine."
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know he was
Too
being
late to
shot,
go
like,
back
yeah.
and shoot it.
Yeah,
Pulls like a Patton Oswalt in King of Queens, and just sort of like
Exactly.
stands there. No one
or he thought they were
notices.
doing close-ups and they weren't. You know.
Yeah.
I do really like Yaz's hair in this episode.
It's kind of like the Princess Leia, but on top of her head.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
a Sailor Moon kind of a thing.
It makes me think of anime hair.
It's a creepy shot here.
Oh,
That is creepy.
Yes,
Good work.
but a very
Compare
good
that
looking
to
shot.
previous, like the effects from, like, let's say series 2, like of this kind of similar thing.
Well, hey, why not? Because think of Tooth and Claw, where there's the scene where they're on the one side of the door and the werewolf's on the other side of the door, and they
Yeah.
kind of pan across in the same way.
I mean,
Let's put-
Doctor Who is the last show to criticize effects on, honestly. But,
Yeah, but
but I'm
let's
just
put
saying
it-
these are really good.
Let's put it this way: Tooth and Claw and School Reunion and all the CG in those. That was as far away from Jurassic Park, like time wise, as this is from those
Oh
episodes.
wow, yeah, you're right. That's weird.
Wow.
Jurassic Park still holds up though.
This I love the hand washing nonsense. It's just, what's he doing? You know, you
There's
can,
a lot of extraneous nonsense that's kind of great. In
it's
this.
great. Yeah, it is great.
He
I
really adds so much to this character.
it does. He just looks suspiciously at his hands. Are they dry?
Will I ever be clean again? No.
I know Chris Noth hinted at like he'd want to come back as President Jack Robertson in a future episode or something.
I mean, I'll take it.
I think there's, I've said this before, but there's a bit of like, please like my show nature when it comes to Doctor Who. So whenever like an American star, for lack of a better word, wants to be on Doctor Who or agrees to be on Doctor Who, it just feels like, wow, we're actually like going beyond the realms of Coronation Street and the Bill and Casualty for our casting choices here.
Kevin.
I mean, when more Americans showed up in
boy.
like RTD Who, I was always like, what's going on here? Because I was just so used to it being so rare on the classic series.
We've just seen the last of Kevin.
Really phony looking.
How scared he gets there really works for me. I'm just like, okay, I can actually really relate to you, which I think works against what they're trying to do with the character. Maybe not. I don't know.
Which one, Kevin or
Robertson
here? Yeah, he does. He just get freaked. Kevin.
like very relatably scared. I too would be scared.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I wouldn't. I hope I wouldn't shut Kevin in there.
Oof. He's more like, ooh, that's unfortunate.
You got Kevin.
Compromised.
There's just so many good quotes in this episode. So many good ribbons for cons.
Which is all these things should be. When you're writing a script for a
Yeah.
TV show, that's what you should be considering.
Would this work on a ribbon?
Oh, that's the last we see, Kevin, I think.
I'd like to actually just have in brackets Kevin screaming.
Isn't
Yeah.
Just to confuse the hell out of everybody.
isn't Kevin hung up in the basement with other people or
I
something?
think so. Well, we
Cocoon
next time
Kevin.
we see
I
him
can't
live.
remember anymore, so
Yeah. Love the way he just-
That's a great
I love
that's
her.
a great man scrunch you just did there.
yeah. What do you think of Jodie there, Kayti Burt?
I love her.
Yeah, good.
That's not very
whoa! Let's not
articulate.
Let's not.
I am really
say things we can't
I am
take
interested
back,
in how
all right?
Ryan and Graham react to Robertson here.
It's like they know who he is.
Like they're into him, which I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Whereas
I
the
don't
two
know. I
women
feel
are
like this
like
obvious
not.
Trump allegory is like very confused. And there's things
they
I like
mention if
about
he's
him,
got
but huh?
Oh, did they mention if he has a TV show or not?
No.
Is that why they're into him, or is it just he's a
They
politician?
just know
or
who he
business guy?
is, I guess, but they
Yeah.
don't mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just starstruck.
But they obviously must know him from some thing other than, oh, he's that guy. What makes those hotels?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Mind you, we're coming off Rosa, where there's that scene with Ryan saying, "Yes, Martin Luther or Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Hello,
Right.
Rosa Parks." Like this, his incredulity at that scene is awesome. And now we have this.
Slightly different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for many reasons.
Looking for a Kevin.
I love that she just straight up talks to the spiders.
Yeah.
And it's never like, oh yeah, no, they understand her. She's
But
just
she's
talking
also-
to the spiders.
She also doesn't like just immediately think they're the enemy either, which is kind of cool.
So I know this was like I love that running gag. Follow has his mom. It's Nadia. We get that a few times in this. I don't like how he's now understanding the rules. You know, at first, like, you know, for the first few scenes of this episode, I think, oh wow, this is like a really thinly disguised Trump allegory. But then when they mentioned Trump, it's oh,
I
okay.
know.
So
that really
Yeah.
threw me.
yeah, at least they're aware of it. They know what they're doing with it.
This is the moment when I wished a little bit that the whole episode had been like a locked room mystery somehow. Like they'd been trapped in the hotel the entire time.
Yeah, there's a feeling that they can get out at any time at this point, but they just have to stop the spiders. A base under siege, if you will.
I've never heard that term. Could
No.
you please explain?
Well, no, it's like, so what happens, Warren, is that sometimes the doctor and a bunch of other people
tell.
will be stuck inside of a base, and then a bunch of aliens or creatures will put it under siege, and then
What a
try
twist.
to, yeah, and that's how it usually goes. And they just run around in the same corridors for 6 episodes, and they call it a classic. That's how it works.
Yes.
I like how she's basically everybody's mom there.
Yeah.
Are you Ed Sheeran? Because that's the only celebrity I know.
He's popular now, isn't he?
Now Ed Sheeran has to be on Doctor Who.
I'm surprised he had. Well, maybe since the whole nonsense from Game of Thrones, where he deleted his
Yeah.
Twitter account essentially. Because
And he
of
was
that.
in Yesterday, the movie as well. So I feel like,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
right. Oh
I
yeah,
just found
he's
it,
open.
My favorite thing about Ed Sheeran is how they put up the picture of Ed Sheeran is hot now, and all the responses to that were just gold. I know a very chubby fellow in Toronto, and he went took a picture of himself lounging in a Speedo and said Ed Sheeran is hot now, and I was like, oh, this can't be topped.
there it
Sorry,
is.
I didn't mean to barrel through with all that.
Here's the Trump thing right there. Don't mention that name.
Yes.
That's
Oh
a
my God.
Nadia just always corrects her. She never listens. And once again, like, she's out of focus when she's saying that, Nadia. And it's just such a quick cut. Humor's the best when it's quick.
I love how Graham just goes right to this guy's crazy. Let's have a conspiracy theory out there
Yeah.
for him.
Tiny spider, eh? Well, that gives me some ideas. Oh, trailer
Oh,
clip.
whenever there's stuff from the trailer, it gets me.
Yeah. Were you in the room when it happened? Is that a Hamilton thing? I don't know. At the Comic-Con when they had the first trailer Were you there for that, or were you?
Ugh, no.
No.
I don't want to talk about it.
Whoa, sorry, didn't mean to.
I was at Comic-Con, but I wasn't in the room.
Yeah,
I did get, no.
Oh, okay. It was a bit,
But I did get to go to the screening of the first episode at New York Comic Con.
Ah, cool.
I am very lucky in many ways. Oh, Graham talks to the spiders. Too.
Yeah. like it's part of the ruse, him talking to him.
Yeah.
Or it.
Yeah, he's like, I have to have a good performance here. He can't know that I'm really trying to trap him.
He didn't take his time. He was right there with the pot.
I know.
Like he couldn't have stuck in a different doorway. Oh, that's a creepy shot.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, spiders. Like, I even find the unconvincing spiders in Planet of the Spiders creepy, you know?
I don't. I find them ridiculously phony.
Oh. Well, they are fun. You know, it's the one where it dies, where it falls off of Sarah's back, spoilers, and it sort of dies, that shot where its legs sort of
that's
curl
fair.
up. Yeah.
What about the Arachnos? Is the Arachnos creepy?
No, oddly enough, it's
No,
not.
but it looks good.
Yeah, it's a pretty
It does
impressive
look good.
effect. The voice is silly.
It's also
but-
got a person coming out of it, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
It's like
'Cause
a centaur spider.
Yeah.
Centaur spider. It's exactly what it is. That's me. That's
A
me.
Spentor, if you will.
Or a spider.
An
Nah,
arachnor.
Spentor's better.
Oh, here it is. There's the
Yeah.
YouTube. And I love it. Like she doesn't know.
I know. It's so good.
I like how matter of fact the doctor is about the whole thing. Are we? Oh, okay, sure, whatever.
I've forgotten how clever this episode is. I quite enjoy it.
Oh, you and Robertson.
Yes.
I mean, they kind of look like... It doesn't look that great. It's not that luxury.
Yeah.
It is Sheffield. Why 15 hotels all the world around
Why
the world?
Sheffield? Yeah.
And Sheffield is the 15th.
I mean, to be fair to any Sheffield listeners, you are in Edmonton. I strategically do not mention Vancouver.
I noticed this.
We also don't know how this hotel is going to do once it opens.
That's true. Like, yeah, do they still proceed with the opening? They just clear away the spider webs and like maybe wait a few weeks to go to the panic room.
I'm
and...
betting that yes.
Okay.
That is exactly what
It's
they
like
do.
it's like the end of Poltergeist. They took off the gravestones, but they left the graves.
Yep.
Poltergeist. Spoilers. Thank you. I only watched it once and I don't remember any of it. So
Well, it's excellent. You should watch it again.
yeah.
Another ribbon.
I think the building that they shot, it's a building, or maybe it's a non-actual building. I can't remember what the exterior shots of this. Is it an actual building in Sheffield or Cardiff, or was it a CG building or something? I don't know.
Here's my question. Is this the first doctor to ever call anybody a dude? Tennant strikes me as the type, but...
I could see Tennant doing it.
Tennant or Matt Smith, I could see. Actually, no, because I think PCAP calls someone dude. I read that. I don't remember that.
he's a disgraced rocker, so you
Yeah.
might call somebody a dude.
I liked the Peter Capaldi era because you could monitor the length and size of his hair throughout the course of his tenure in Doctor Who.
Not only you could, you did.
To be fair, I'm a little disappointed that we haven't had that same
We've only
ongoing
had 11
game
episodes.
with Jodie Whittaker yet. We haven't. Her hair hasn't.
But
evolved.
Capaldi's hair didn't really change that much this first season, did it? I don't
Oh,
recall
it did.
doing
By the
so.
time you got to the end of season
yeah.
8, series 8, it was longer, and
Yeah.
Jodie's kept her hair the same length. Feel free to ring in on this important fact.
This is
Katie,
key to any new doctor.
This is
I too want her hair to change so we can easily determine the spot in the series run.
right. Thank
She
you.
needs to get the side hawk thing going. That'd be good for just one episode.
Or like an updo or something. Like, you know, we might have or will already mention this on these commentaries. I miss the lack of like period costumes sometimes when they go back to the past. Thinking, oh, it's prime material to wear some period costumes, but they never
But I mean,
did.
they barely did that in the old show, so...
Well, they didn't have the costume budget for it, and J&T probably says, no, Not allowed. Tegan, I don't care if you've been wearing that for 6 months straight. You're an air stewardess. It's the Great Fire of London. Deal with it.
But this shirt is flammable, highly flammable at this point.
Don't care. We're not making, we're not going to make any action figures, but you have to wear the same thing. So in case we do make action figures someday, you can. Has there ever been a Tegan action figure even to this day? I don't even know.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised.
Kevin.
Poor Kevin. R.I.P.
I would like if the Doctor just tried to do like the Yaz buns one day and it just didn't work out in the same way.
Like a makeover day with Yaz and the Doc.
Yeah.
Go off.
Because she doesn't, I think, her hair is, not only does it not really change in terms of like cut or length, but she never really, I don't think she does like anything different with it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Tegan action figure from what I can tell.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
after
a
all
resurrection
that-
of the Daleks set with 2 Daleks, the Davros, and the 5th Doctor.
Yeah. That's tragic. Tegan wore that air stewardess costume for
I'm finding some, but I think they're customs.
Yes, they are.
Those are unpure. We don't
Now,
talk about
the one thing
customs.
is, though, when you have, especially with Classic Who, where you have them wearing the same outfit over and over, it is actually great for action dollies because it gives you an identifiable, iconic outfit for them to be in.
It's true. Just like Doctor Who here. She's wearing the coat and everything.
Like that's
Yeah,
why
you got
that's
your
the only
uniform.
reason there are no Sex and the City dollies because you'd have to have so many different outfits for
That's
them.
true. There's a lot of outfits.
Chris Noth is like, this is why I need to go on Doctor Who.
I need to have an action
So
figure.
you get an action dolly, exactly.
But even
yeah.
that's not a guarantee anymore. It should be, but it isn't.
That'd be an easy one to make, though. You just take the master, Sim Master, and pop his head on it.
Oh, he's a little bigger.
You could have like an interchangeable, you get like a few heads.
Yeah, for generic business jerk.
But for business jerk, you could like all through time. You could go from like Chris Noth and Arachnids in the UK back to like government bureaucrat in a season 8 John Pertwee episode. The same
Yeah,
suit,
Nixon and
just
Impossible
changed the
Astronaut,
heads.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
There are, or appear to be anyway, Sex and the City Lego minifigs.
Oh, dear God.
Not actual, of course.
I mean, that would go with the Lego New York. Actually, if I had a Lego New York, I would probably put Sex and the City figures in it amongst all the other, with Travis Bickle and a ton of other New York figures.
Travis Bickle, folk hero.
Yeah, you
Travis
put all the
Bickle.
iconic film and TV minifigs in your Lego New York.
Yeah, I think that's it though. That's just Taxi Driver, and Sex and the City. That's it. I think
Oh, you got to have all the Marvel guys.
Okay,
There's all
thank
sorts
you.
of stuff you
I
can
was,
put in there.
I was
Would
joking.
you have both?
Bowery Boys.
Would you have both the Travis Bickle and a Jake LaMotta?
Yes. I'd have Charlie Sheen circa Wall Street and Gordon Gekko circa Wall Street.
Why would you do that?
I feel like this is a lot that we're talking through this scene because it's just like total nonsense how they draw all these things together.
That's true.
Is it more nonsense than my hypothetical Legos in New York City?
No, it's not.
fair enough.
I support you.
There are a
Good,
few of
thank
these
you.
scenes in this series, isn't there, where they sort of stand around and hash about what's actually happening because, spiders can't talk back. I suppose that's a good thing. I'm glad, actually, that the spiders haven't developed speech as part of their mutation.
This garbage dump looks like more a big problem regardless of spider content.
Yeah, it's true.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Just having
it's kind
that
of beautiful
lying under
though.
your... Yeah.
Clean it all up once you're done. Not just the spiders. There are other problems underneath this hotel that you need to deal with. We're watching the scene now.
Yeah,
This is
because this
before his
seems
dad
so
shows
much
up, right?
better.
His dad doesn't show up till... When the hell does his dad show up? I can't remember.
Resolution?
Resolution.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
His dad's selling microwaves right now
That's
Right.
true.
as we speak.
Door to door, which seems kind of out of date.
It does sound kind of out of date. Door-to-door salesman. Is that a thing?
I don't have a microwave.
Whoa.
Maybe you need a door-to-door microwave salesman.
I
to sell you
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a demand.
I mean,
How else
do
are you going
live
to know
near a
about
farm,
it? You know?
right? I mean, you do live very near a farm that you pretty much have direct access to. So, I mean, do you need a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only eat fresh food.
Oh, really?
Well, you have that
No.
option. Unlike a lot of people.
I just put it in like the oven or something.
People do that.
I love these scenes because obviously they don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So they're just asked to act in a general manner.
They just have to be told, race as if there's a giant spider chasing you. Okay. The size of a large van.
I like how Noth is just unimpressed with absolutely anything here. Even though he's seen these spiders.
Oh, called her Nadia. I kind of wish she would have said yes to his mom at that point.
I feel like they didn't need to explain Anna, and I would have been fine. I'd been like, yeah, the spiders got her.
This won't make any sense to you, Katie, but this guy reminds me a lot of Katie. Oh, maybe it will. Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary was, that awful
the guy
person
who ran for the conservative leadership. Yeah. Also, he's on Shark Tank, so that might be where you'd know him.
Yeah, in the U.S.
I don't know who he is, but I appreciate that you were like, maybe.
Well, Shark Tank is an American show, so you might have seen it. So.
That's true.
But he's a Canadian, and he's, although...
Oh, I just Googled him. He does look familiar.
Yeah.
He also ran for the conservative leadership and almost got it, which was terrifying.
He never almost got it. He pulled out before they even started voting because he realized that he actually had to come to Canada and campaign to become it. So
because he lives in Chicago.
Yeah.
Even though he's Canadian.
So I don't know about Jack Robertson's political future on the back.
He just reminds me of what's he doing in England?
Exactly. Well, opening a hotel.
It was interesting to rewatch this after Boris Johnson had been elected.
Right.
I mean, they're still very different people, but like, yep, things are moving very quickly in the real world out here.
Yeah. Boris Johnson's like if a Muppet swallowed a dictionary.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Yeah. This one's a little on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah. Well, like, if you're going to do that, you just need to, like, they try to touch on so many things, but not actually go into them. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. It's a little on the nose, but I've asked that question a couple times recently, so.
I think the thing that most, like, muddles this character for me is... the fact that his solution isn't like a terrible one.
Well, that's true. It actually is probably practical.
Because they're hoarding, they're sort of herding all these spiders into the panic room so they could die.
Yeah.
Eventually.
It's very unclear.
Yeah, it is. And then the big one's like, oh, what do you do? Why'd you shoot her for? She was dying a slow and painful death.
Yeah. He's like,
I remember when this went out, we looked up
Google
to see if this was a real song.
Kids and their music. Kids and their music.
I kind of don't mind the grime. I'll take it over a lot of the other stuff.
Oh, well, that's country music, certainly. Good God.
I mean, I'm into being introduced to new things.
Oh, me too.
Also, this is the point at which I realized that this reminds me of Attack the Block, which Jodie Whittaker is in. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the terrible, terrible zombie movie starring Matt Smith called Patient Zero.
No, I heard it was bad, so I didn't watch
it. It was so bad. But it involves, like, zombies basically being, like, allergic to music.
What?
So, yeah, it's so bad. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
That's a filmmaking nightmare because then you have to license music, which costs a ton of money.
Yeah, but they only use records as well. You're just like, why isn't everyone part of, like, a cappella groups?
So the zombies are allergic to hipsters is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess so. They are all like in a very specific age demographic.
Well, of course.
Can we talk about Matt Smith's post Doctor Who movie choices? They're either Patient Zero,
Terminator Genesis for no reason.
Terminator Genesis, who's in like for the last 10 minutes and he's CG, and then these other films like the Charlie Manson one and the Robert Mapplethorpe one. They came out. They came out.
I think
is it out now?
Yeah,
they've been out long. They barely were released, and there's
he played Mapplethorpe too, but that's more of an indie like artistic.
Well,
choice,
so was the Manson one. Yeah,
Christopher and His Kind was a very good show, but that was kind of a TV movie.
That was during Doctor Who, wasn't it? Or was it just post?
Yeah, maybe toward the end of his tenure.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Party Animals, which was pre-Doctor Who?
I know of it. I knew of it.
I think I watched a clip from it just because Matt Smith was in it when he showed up.
I was very into it. I watched it before he was on Doctor Who, though.
Oh, wow.
When I was young.
Wow, so you're the person who knew who he was when he was announced as Doctor Who.
Well,
I wrote an article about it in my personal blog.
Oh,
he also starred as Billy Piper in
Oh yeah, Secret Diary of a Call
Diary of
Girl.
Congo, yeah.
no, even beyond that, her
what was it?
Victorian drama.
yeah. I can't
Oh,
think-
right.
Oh,
He wasn't a Penny Dreadful. No, that's
How'd he
not
get
right.
this
it was
gun
like
into
a
England?
Philip. Oh,
Yeah, I know the one you mean. I know the one
Yeah,
you mean.
Ruby and the Smoke.
Ruby and the Smoke.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and then he was also on Secret Diary of a Call Girl as well. So I saw him in both of those before Doctor Who, not knowing really who he was, of course.
Fire and Fury, they must have thrown that in the last second because this came out around when that was a thing.
You know what? The past 2.5 years have sort of been a blur.
That's true.
For
They
me.
have blended into one.
I know that the Fake News Central from Lie of the Land was a late overdub because that came out shortly after that. Became a thing.
I still want to know how he got this gun in England.
No, it was Kevin's. It was Kevin's gun.
Kevin.
Yeah, he's using.
also
He's a
said-
linchpin.
He also said he had a bunch of guns in the safe room, enough for 2 for everybody.
Well, he picked it
That's
up off the
true.
ground because Kevin had dropped it when he died. So,
How did Kevin get the gun into England?
good question. I guess maybe when you're Jack Robertson, you have loopholes that you can use to get. I mean, I imagine that presidents and he's a hotelier though.
He has a lot of money. He's rich.
As to quote Charlie Brooker, or a character on Screen Wipe, he's rich, which is the American version of being clever.
Mic drop. Aww.
Sorry for slagging your home and native land there, Katie.
No, it's okay.
By some
I agree.
secondhand.
You've angered a
hand.
true
By
patriot.
quoting part of the Canadian national anthem while you
Yeah.
doing it too.
Oh yeah, I guess I did do that, didn't I?
I love this because at some point, Graham, Ryan, and Yaz have had a talk about what to do and how they want to keep going.
I know. I feel like the stakes felt so high in the previous New Who eras, I guess, where whenever the Doctor was like with the TARDIS away from the companions, I was like, he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
But here they're just like, whatever, like just hanging out.
I gotta say, other than Ryan's dad, I am pro Doctor Who dads. Team Clive and then Team Yaz's dad too. He takes a lot of crap for no good reason.
Bitches
So he makes a bad
nice.
Bakura. He's still trying.
Yeah.
He's got a nice apron.
You know, at some point, or maybe they haven't had a talk. Maybe they all just know and they don't need to have that conversation.
Yeah, they're like, why would we not? And the TARDIS lets them in.
I know.
That's big.
This is a big.
See, the way that they shoot that, you don't have to have the inside insert stuff because of the way the TARDIS is shaped. Now they
Yeah.
can just get away with having being a box.
I think it was part of it. It's part of the reason why is that we don't have to worry about this.
It's one less green screen they got to deal with.
Yeah. Well, they haven't been doing green screen for a while. It's all been like forced, like false perspective, kind of like just a painting, literally a backdrop in the TARDIS.
Yep.
I mean, if it works, it works. What the hell?
Yeah. Very nice scene.
So good. I do think, though, they do such a good job showing why this episode needs to, explain why these three are choosing to go with her rather than being, taken away. Mm-hmm. And I understand why Graham's going, and I understand where Yaz and Ryan are going, like, because why not? But I wish they did a better job articulating that.
Mm-hmm.
I love this shot, just the framing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the light in behind her, too. And then that one there.
Also that one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's... now she's pouring it out. This is where the ship...
Yeah, ship it
There
hard.
it is. There, the look there, the reaction shot, and then back to here, the first person. And then you cut back there, and it's like a different take, obviously, because it's not a close-up anymore. And I feel like she's not quite as...
Intense
into it. I almost felt like, what's that close-up a cutaway? I think, you know what? Let's play it up. Let's play it up a little bit with the close-up.
See, this is one of the things I like about Jodie's doctor. She'll actually tell them this, as opposed to the other ones who are like, "Oopsie."
She's not trying to manipulate them in any way, or at least that we know of.
She just flat out says, "Nope, this ain't going to be all biscuits and sunshine. Come on."
And also the idea that change can be wonderful. It doesn't have to be scary, or it doesn't have to be, I don't know, lesser.
I like the opposite of that in Planet of the Ood, I think it was, where Tennant goes, "Look, this is how the universe is. It's not all great."
Yeah. I'll show you how crap it is and then tell you, this is what happens when you travel with me. Maybe she learns from that, from the Tennant experience. Oh, it's a nice moment. It's a nice moment.
It's so sweet. Together. This is such a good scene.
Yeah.
And it really helps that this is Akinola's music. Like, it just works better.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but...
It's good music.
It just would be a bit too much if it was Murray Gold.
Take that, Murray Gold.
He's done lovely stuff. It just, for that particular thing, I think Akinola's music works better.
That went so fast.
I know, fast. Right? These things go. I'm
and
sorry.
I liked it more than the second time.
Paying attention.
Time,
Where is the spider expert? I can't see this. Is she credited here?
I know. Was that a lie?
Did we miss it? Unit medic. Now we're gonna be close, right?
Oh, Dr. Niall Doran.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. I missed it, but
here comes the next time.
I'll trust you. Oh, the good old next time trailers, junkyards, and white spaceships and stuff, and.
Anything could happen.
Anything.
Oh my God, it's been so long since we got a new episode.
I know. Well, it'll be a while yet because it's coming out next year. This is why we're watching these again now.
Just kick her while she's down, Steven.
Yeah, I know.
I know. So sad.
Yeah, but hey, when the time comes, you'll have more to write about since you've professed your desire to write about the episodes for Series 12 on Den of Geek. So
I did do that, didn't I?
Did. Gotta commit. This it's in stone.
Now it's committed to tape, as it were.
Yeah, you have no idea how legally binding podcast appearances are.
None at all.
You did tell me how many different places this is being recorded.
Exactly. Backups upon backups for proof in court. Kayti, where could people find you on the internet?
The best place to find me is probably on Twitter at Kayti Burt, KaytiBurt, and of course on denofgeek.com.
Super. Thanks so much for joining us for your first and hopefully not last appearance on this year podcast.
I would love to come back. Thank you for inviting me.
You betcha. All right, folks, next week, Saranga Conundrum. Until then, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Morning, Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com, follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro, subscribe to us on iTunes, and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.